Kaboom. How you going? Fucking cheap Tuesday. Fuck. How you fucking going? I'm wearing me MAGA hat just for Donald Trump, the legend, after his UN speech. I wonder if anyone's caught that. I recommend, this is the tip for you, go watch bloody Donald Trump's UN speech. It was fucking excellent. Cheap fucking Tuesday. I feel like shit. I had a terrible day. Nah, I'm only joking. I had a good day. Let me wind this fucking down. There's 3 people watching. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the world's worst YouTube channel. Nah. But anyway, wearing the old MAGA hat for my man Donald Trump, the living legend. He did such a good job. Shane Simpson, the other hat is Radar, Dusty Bogan. What's up, Dusty? Bubba Gump, love the name, bro. That's awesome. No, I do love my blue mullet hat. Make Australia great again. It is a good hat. I need to wash it. I don't even know where it is. It's disgusting. I've never actually washed that hat once. Not once in my life has that blue hat been washed. And it's got disgusting sweat stains on it. So that, yeah. Maybe if I wash it, Lauren Southern's signature might wash off it, you know what I mean? So I'm too afraid. Bubba Gump, a.k.a. Revenge of the Cis Bear. ROTC Bear. Hey, fucking hell. Shane Simpson, never wash it. It's legendary now. That's it. I'm too afraid to wash it, man. It'll probably fucking fade away and get all fucked up. Bubba Gump from Portland. G'day, bro. What's the time over there? You have to let me know. I'm looking for any articles. There's some news out there today. Cheap Tuesday. It's all fucking happening. Where are me fucking articles? Metallogram. Dusty Bogan, mate. Did you even know? I was just reading RT News. We'll get into Donald Trump, the living legend, but anyway, there's a few good articles. I was reading this article just then on RT News. Tommy Robinson News. They probably like 12, oh man, Bubba Gump, 12 o'clock at night. Fuck, what did I do? Bang. That's awesome, bro. 12 o'clock at night. Fuck. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Brisbane time. Anyway, I was reading this article. They reckon there was a terrorist attack in New Zealand. Christchurch massacre. If you were to do a Google search on the internet right now, type in New Zealand terrorist attack, you will get reams and reams of hits about deranged, murderous scumbags who shot around 50 people dead in a mosque. The reason for you not picking any other hits for a terrorist attack in New Zealand is because an incident that occurred on September the 4th was not recorded as one. It would seem that the so-called Western authorities like to hide terrorist attacks by either lodging the crime as something else or by using the good old tried and tested mental illness angle. Either way, these reporting strategies are becoming more and more common, hiding the truth from the public. Yeah, I would be fucking, mate. Years ago, I had mates high up in the police force who were like, in my last church, there were heaps of cops and soldiers and all this stuff, and they'd be like, yeah, heaps of this shit doesn't get reported on. He's like, if you knew the crap that, yeah, anyway. So I'm not surprised. I heard of a guy told me at the Brisbane Police Academy, ASIO pulled out a Muslim who had connections to ISIS in the police academy. So how does that happen? Do you know what I mean? Didn't hear about that on the news. You heard it here first. And I was just like, I'm not going to, the person who told me about that was like, you should do a video on it. This is back when I was on Facebook. It's like, you should do a video on it. And I was like, no fucking way. You know what I mean? I was too scared to talk about it. Anxious Aussie. There is a new headline that Trump likes Ardern's gun buyback scheme. Fake news. Or for real. Damn, that's fake news for sure, bro. Bubba Gump. I'm about to take my first degree next month with Portland chapter. You have been an influence in the decision, you hooroo. No worries, Bubba Gump. Brother, you're going to love it. I don't know how long I've been a Proud Boy now, 2 years. And it's really good. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of normal blokes. No one's perfect. There's, you know, you can't say, you know, everyone's perfect. No. We catch up and get on the beers. So maybe someone will say or do something stupid, you know what I mean, around you in the Proud Boys. But at the end of the day, in a men's drinking fraternity, what do you expect? You'd be like, eh. But generally, you know what? Good bunch of blokes. And on the weekend, we were having beers at the pub. And one of the boys, he reckons, he's like, oi, did you see that guy? He was just taking photos of you, bang, 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 and then left. I was like, you kidding me? He's like, yeah, maybe they were Antifa. I was like, phew. And I was like, yeah, well, they'll have to edit out the gay Papua New Guinean in the photo because, you know, that won't fit the narrative of fucking whatever they call us these days. Shane Simons, do you think it's an effective group? It's Bubba Gump. It's so fun. It's just a men's drinking club. The mainstream media lies. Yeah, I think like Shane, when you're like, is it an effective group? It's good at its purpose. The purpose of the Proud Boys is generally catching up for beers once a month with the boys, going to rallies or going to shows. That's it. Maybe a bit of volunteering around, like we do some volunteering randomly, you know what I mean? And generally it's just a group of mates. You have like, you become a Proud Boy and you've got like, wherever you go, whatever city you go to, you go on holiday somewhere, you fucking change city for job, bang, you'll be a Proud Boys chapter and you're like, bang, you connected again with another bunch of good blokes who are just good value, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, there's this, you know, whatever. There's a pro-life rally coming up in Brisbane City. So I'm going to go to that. And we'll go. The Proud Boys will go, or whatever show's going. Like the last one was the Aboriginal lady, Jacinta Price in Brisbane. And so we all went to that. So you got like a bunch of people to now go, oh yeah, let's go to that rally. Or this Joe Blow's coming to town and doing a fucking, you know, Jordan Peterson's coming to town, whatever. Oh yeah, sweet, let's all go. So you got a bunch of mates to go do good shit with. It's that simple. It is that simple. That's all the Proud Boys are. Anyway, I'll keep reading this article about the fucking hidden New Zealand terrorists to attack a 24-year-old man going by the name of Ruara Kern Taylor, we'll call him old mate, decided to ram a police car and then chase the police officer down the highway with a tomahawk axe shouting Allah Akbar. After giving up on the chase, how the hell did a cop let him chase him by foot? He should have shot him dead on the motorway at that point. After giving up on the chase, he went back to the police car and made some modifications with the axe to the police car. Taylor was later found wearing a police jacket and hat while shouting quotes from the Quran. Nothing to see here, just an act of vandalism, a little bit of criminal damage, maybe possibly the use of threatening and abusive language. Media outlets have been eagerly silent on the incident, which begs the question, why is that? It's understandable when a nut job goes into a mosque and kills innocent people. There is an outrage and plenty of media attention to boot. It's only right that the incident is reported as a terrorist attack, but why, when a policeman is rammed and chased by a man with an axe shouting Allah Akbar, the incident is not deemed or reported as terrorist related? Isn't it fucking bullshit? What a double standard. It makes us all go, fucking fake news. Thanks, Donald Trump. This is one of the best things, like Trump, what he's done by him just been like fake news. Everything's fake news. We've got to really soak this up and appreciate it for what it is. It's fucking great news. Where else we got? Fucking Medicine Man. This Jews did 9/11. I fucking put you on timeout last time, mate. Don't make me do it again, Medicine Man. I booted some dude from my Telegram chat this morning. He wasn't a bad guy. What was his name? He was another bogan. You can have a look, the Grand Bogan. And he was just I just said, sorry, mate, this group might not be for you, because he's a bit of an alarmist. That's what I told him. I'm like, brother, you're just an alarmist, The Grand Bogan. He was a good enough guy, but he was talking a bit of shit on my Telegram chat, inciting like a civil war, really, and just fucking never ended. He never stopped. So I was like, I booted him this morning. I said, sorry, mate, this chat might not be for you. You are too much of an alarmist. And then I put what alarmist means: a person who tends to raise alarms, especially without sufficient reason, as by exaggerating dangers or, yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying. So Telegram chat is a vetting tool for the boys. Nah, my Dusty Bogan's mates chat isn't a vetting page for the Proud Boys. It's just genuinely, if people follow my YouTube or fucking whatever and they just want to have a bit of banter. But yeah, he posts good stuff on Gab. Yeah, old bloody. He was just getting a bit too much, and I'm thinking like, fucking hell, man. He's like pushing the like, there'll be a civil war, rah rah rah, and I'm thinking like, fucking hell, man. It's just a bit too much for my liking. You know what I mean? Medicine Man Dusty loves Israel. I like Falau, not Israel. You're all right, Medicine Man. I do love Israel. I love every nation, mate. Born again Christian brother. Gonna make disciples of all the nations. Bubba Gump, it's a betting tool in Portland for the boys. Hey. Yeah, there's heaps of Telegram Proud Boys news pages and stuff. So, Proud Boys have done really well on Telegram. It's like our new home after the big Facebook purge, where they just fucking kicked us to the curb. And, I had a decent enough following back then. I've never been able to get as much of a following since they booted me on Facebook. But anyway, all good. You only do the shit because you love it. You know what I mean? It's really the love of what is right on this earth. Just to be fucking normal and to be left alone. Lacey says, hi, Dusto. Cheers, mate. I love Palestine more. Bullshit, you love Palestine, you fucking liar. You love Israel, medicine man. Anyway, let's read about our mate, Jordan Peterson, going into rehab. Self-help author Jordan Peterson checks into rehab for addiction, needs medical help. It's got to be pretty serious if you put yourself into a fucking rehab, right? This is what they reckon. Controversial Canadian psychologist, Dr. Jordan Peterson. Is he controversial? Controversial? He's not controversial at all, mate. Jordan Peterson's just normal as F. That's why people love him, because they're just like, oh, this guy's just speaking completely normal. Anyway, Jordan Peterson checked himself into rehab as he tried to wean himself off prescribed medication. On Thursday, Peterson's daughter, Michaela, posted a nearly 9-minute video on YouTube updating her followers on her family, including her mother, who was diagnosed with terminal cancer in April. It's full on. With her mother, Tammy had mostly recovered. Several surgical complications and operations put massive stress on her family, including Jordan, Mr. Peterson, a self-help author who gained international attention for pushing back against political correctness. Jeez, what a legend. Isn't it funny how they've treated Jordan Peterson just for pushing back against political correctness? That's all you need to do to be called a fucking, whatever they call a bigot or a fucking Nazi, whatever bullshit story they want to call you. Anxious Aussie and blames his wife. Yeah, only if you are a soft cock. Let's keep reading a little bit more before we delve into the depths. Anyway, to deal with the stress of his sick wife, Dr. Peterson was prescribed anti-anxiety medication, which Healthline says is used to treat panic disorders. Jordan Peterson has said, that sometimes that prescribed medicines are all good and it can work. I've heard him say it. So he doesn't ever say that, I think he's pretty open that he's taken medication before. To deal with stress, blah, blah, blah. When Tammy recovered, Michaela said her father tried to get off the medication he was prescribed. Turns out clonazepam is hell to get off. They reckon a lot of them antidepressants are really hard to get off, or anti-anxiety drugs. He stopped cold turkey in the summer after talking with psychiatrists and experienced horrific physical withdrawal and anxiety. Hasn't he still been doing his tours? So he's just sucked it up and fucking pushed through or something. Hey, Lisa, how you going? Thanks for tuning in. Where the back was I? To try wean himself off the drug, Peterson has checked himself at a New York rehabilitation center, but Michaela says he is having a miserable time. I've never seen my dad like this. He's having a miserable time with it. It breaks my heart, she said. He decided to check himself into a place because he didn't want to stress mum out and wanted to get off this as quickly as possible. And honestly, needs the medical help. The situation is real sad. He looks like a lost puppy. And fucking goes on and on and on. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I've taken antidepressants before when I got fucking injured. I took them one time when we had like a slow period at my work. 18 weeks we didn't pour concrete and we were doing maintenance. It was boring as fuck. And I was like, we're all going mad. All of the workers there kept us on. We're all going mad. And I was like, fucking hell, I feel like shit. So I asked my doctor, is there anything I could take to help me out? And then once work picked up again, I was like, fuck, I feel better. It was just due to circumstance. And I think that's the most, circumstances just throw you out and you're like, how the fuck do I deal with this? It's pretty hard. I don't know how to, how the fuck, people don't know how to deal with shit until they get there. It's all right to just take medicine. Maybe, like you said, anxious Aussie blaming his wife. Maybe he should just say, my wife was sick and I didn't know how to handle it, or I didn't handle it very well and I took medication. And then that way it's not necessarily blaming his wife, but explaining the situation. I must be a pathetic loser then for like fucking taking antidepressants. I took them then when we ran out of work, and then I stopped taking them for ages. And then another time I got injured at work and I was like, I feel so fucked, I need help, and got high-powered painkillers and antidepressants and took them for a bit. And you know what? I reckon like it's fucking good that they're there if you've like got no other option or you don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it, but I was just like, yeah, I could fucking need some help, and just fucking take the help. If you can get it, just fucking ask for help. But the trick is, what did I do? Whenever whatever antidepressant I took, I asked for like a low dose. I was like, let's see how that goes. We took a low dose because I knew, and I was like, I read up about it enough that apparently there's antidepressants that you can get dosages and then you can snap them in half. There's some you can't snap in half, so you can halve your dosage and wean yourself off easier. That was the kind of antidepressant I took. I was like, I want shit that's easily enough to fucking wean yourself off it, because apparently it can fuck you up. I didn't know what I was doing, let's face it. But anyway, that was fucking years ago. And I don't mind talking to you guys about it and being honest. That's the thing, anxious Aussie. It's all about the fucking, anxious Aussie. You don't use the missus as an excuse to get an addiction going, though. Yeah, I agree. I think he should say, honestly, just say, I was fucking stressed out and these are the circumstances going on in my life and I needed help and I took this shit and I fucking can't get off it. I want to get off it. My circumstance, like the circumstance that stressed me out has changed and I've got no fucking, that circumstance has changed, so I don't need to take this shit anymore. But now I'm addicted to it. That's the right answer. That's the right answer, I think. And there's nothing wrong with saying you need help. Do you know what I mean? And that's what Jordan Peterson, maybe he's fucked up and it's his daughter speaking on his behalf anyway. Or has he released his own statement? Anyway, maybe he has released his own statement. Hopefully he comes out and talks about it on his own and says, oh, I couldn't fucking handle it. You know what I mean? Anyway, what other fucking news are we on here on a cheap Tuesday? You know what's good not to do if you take antidepressants? Don't binge drink every night. That's what I was doing. And then the antidepressants make you feel real fucking good. And then I think for me, I was drinking heaps every night when I was on antidepressants, and it made me feel awesome. And that's when I was like, this shit is so good, I need to get off it. So maybe I wasn't as depressed as I thought, and it made me feel too good. And I was like, fuck, this is dangerously good. Do you know what I mean? It helps if you don't have money for booze. That's it. There ain't no shame in people taking medicine. You know, the thing is we don't live. I mean, fuck. How long have we been living this modern, hard-working lifestyle? You know what I mean? For the most part of human history, we've probably been out farming and hunting, and that was probably like better for our brains, I reckon. How good do you feel if you go on a hunting trip or like out for a bushwalk and shit? That was like what people were doing for the most of our history. And I think it was better for our brains. You know what I mean? And I think like now we're living this fucking, in the modern world, modern era, and we're like, fuck, I can't stop. You need to keep like going. If you're like, I feel like shit, and you're like, fuck, well, I can't stop. You have to keep going. So you're like, fuck, I need help. And you get medicine so you can keep going, functioning at a normal fucking level. And there ain't no shame in that. Because I guess back in the day, you'd just be walking around the bush hunting and out in nature, and you probably wouldn't get to that spot in the first place. You know what I mean? The adventure of fucking survival was more of an adventure back then. I think it was more satisfying. Is that silly to think like that? I think that may be the case. You know what I mean? Or I'm just talking shit. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter, man. What else have we got in here in me bloody news from around the world on Cheap Tuesday? Oh, here's a fucking good one. Here's this stupid fucking... This is Summit News. Paul Joseph Watson, Summit News. I actually really enjoy reading his stuff. 90% of plastic waste polluting the Earth's oceans comes from Asia and Africa. Despite Westerners being lectured by climate activists like Greta Thunberg, that's that little demon, that little fucking possessed demon that's going around screaming at everyone. A study has found that around 90% of plastic waste polluting Earth's oceans come from Asia and Africa. Who would have fucking thought? Are you serious? During her US tour, Thunberg cited is that even how you say it? Pronounce the name? Probably wrong. Thunberg cited horrifying pictures of plastic in the ocean as well as one of the primary reasons why Americans should listen to her. However, researchers at Germany's Helmholtz Center of Environmental Research has discovered that a small number of rivers account for the vast majority of plastic pollution, and none of them are located in Western countries. No shit. Why don't we just fucking go and sort these rivers out? A small number of rivers. Is there 50 rivers? Can't we just be like, fuck you, we're taking control of the mouth of this river? You stupid idiots. The 10 top ranked rivers transport 88 to 95% of the global load into the sea. So you're telling me 10%, the top 10 ranked rivers transport 88 to 95% of the global fucking rubbish in the ocean. That's fucked. Why don't we take control of these? It's obviously all these 10 rivers have like a mouth the single point where it flows out to the ocean where we could actually go do something about it. Seems like, why don't these weird fucks who do all these protests, they should just be like, we're going on a holiday to one of these 10 shitholes and just start like going with our little nets, collecting the rubbish, saving the planet. I'm all for it. I reckon that'd be a good thing to do. We should be like, hang on a minute. We need to get like 1 million hardcore lefties and be like, are you left-wing extremists? They'll be like, yes, we are. I'd be like, right, we're taxing you 10% more, and we're taking that 10% from you million psychopath left-wing nutcases, and we're going to sort these 10 rivers out. Is that good with you? And they'll be like, yes, authoritarian government, please take my money. Nah, they'll say something stupid. Anyway, it could fucking happen. Anxious Aussie. Greta's most recent meltdown is very sad. That kid is being so terribly misused and made to say the most ridiculous things. I haven't actually seen anything of hers. I've seen a few memes of her. One was like the picture. It was like a picture of her. I'm looking on my phone. See what the meme was. It was like fucking fetal alcohol syndrome, and there's like a picture of the cartoon picture of a kid with fetal alcohol syndrome, and it looks exactly like this Greta kid. I thought that was pretty funny, but I guess this is what happens if you go out there and you talk about politics. If you're like whatever fucking left or right wing, people are going to talk shit about you. So she can't hide. I'm just a kid. You can't say these things about me. You know what I mean? Yes, we fucking can and we will, bitch. Nah. Anyway. Hey, Mitchell Osbear just sent you a pitch on Telegram. A picture on Telegram, Dusty. True that, bro. Thanks for fucking joining me, Telegram. I encourage everyone to sign up. Join me, fucking Telegram. Hasn't come through yet. Wonder why. Anyway. Lol, yes, Greta the Goblin. She is a fucking gremlin, mate. Greta looks like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. She does. That's what her future's gonna be. You know what I mean? Is she one of these stupid people who's like, I will never have kids because children and people cause pollution? Like, ugh, what a fucking nutcase. Germany did nothing wrong. Greta talks like Owen Benjamin's mum on a temper tantrum. Oh, man. Keep reading this article. Dr. Christian Seichmidt, a hydrologist who leads the study, told Daily Mail the river with the highest estimated plastic loads are characterized by high population. For instance, the Yan Gigs, with over 500 million people. Holy shit. So somewhere in India, right? Out of the top 10 rivers that produce the most pollution, 8 are in Asia and 2 in Africa. The Yangtze River in China and the Ganges River in India were responsible for the most plastic pollution. No shit, but why aren't we just going, bang, here's 2 rivers. Maybe them 2 rivers produce fucking 80%, or 60% of the ocean's plastic pollution. Just fucking block that shit up, mate. Do us all a favor. It does. Every person on the planet, even fucking conservatives, it gives them the shits when they see that rubbish in the ocean. I don't throw rubbish in the fucking eat Maccas. I'll just fucking throw it out the window. You're a piece of shit. If you're a grown adult, like if you're an adult, you should be teaching your kids, just throw your rubbish in the bin. It's so fucking simple. Like, you don't have to be a fucking climate change fucking alarmist to work this shit out, mate. Don't just throw your rubbish in the bin. Simple, mate. These fucking Indian and Chinese people, pull your fucking heads in. Jesus Christ. It would be ridiculous. It would be insane that if we would have to go over there and be like, hey, mate, can we fucking get some system where all this garbage isn't floating out into the ocean? Thanks heaps. Like, how stupid. Anxious Aussie. She lost it at one of those climate conferences. How dare you? You are stealing my dreams. I should be at school. Clearly distressed, and she is mentally and emotionally disabled. Holy fuck. What a stupid little goblin. What does plastic pollution have to do with climate change? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. But it seems, the thing is about plastic pollution in the ocean, it seems that we could solve that one fairly quickly. Do you know what I mean? Seems like that's one we could fucking do tomorrow and be like, bang, let's fucking do that. Like, there's no way tomorrow we're all going to be like, let's all buy $50,000 electric cars. That is fucking impossible. Maybe people could go out. What's reasonable is someone could go out and be like, like in Australia, we have interest-free loans to get solar panels on your roof and solar hot water and solar electricity on your house or your business. That's reasonable. That is so fucking reasonable. I've already done it. Why wouldn't you? It seems like a great deal. An interest-free loan to get this put on your fucking roof so you can save on your own power bill. Like, that's reasonable. It's not reasonable for us to be like, I'm going to buy a $50,000 electric car. But what is reasonable is that these two rivers in China and India that are responsible for like 60% of the ocean's plastic, that's something that seems to me could be easily solved. And I think everyone could agree on that. There's 10 rivers responsible for 95% of the world's ocean fucking garbage. That's fucked. That's one, you know what I mean? And it's funny that, hey, this is Paul Joseph Watson writing about this. The right-wing bigot, Paul Joseph Watson. You know what I mean? This is what he reckons. While Westerners are being told to alter their lifestyles and have fewer children to save the planet, which is fucking stupid. Have heaps of Western babies. The world needs more Westerners. Virtually nothing is being said about or to people in countries responsible for the vast majority of pollution. This is probably one of the main reasons why many in the West remain skeptical about the true motives of environmentalist movement. As we reported earlier, only 38% of Americans believe global warming is man-made. Wow. How fucking good on you, Paul Joseph Watson. What a legend. Dusty, hey, on board Nordic. The Ganges River have so much bacteria in it. There's probably everything in there. It's out of control. Anyway, what else we got on the fucking news today? I haven't even gotten to Trump, the living legend. This is why I have me fucking hat on. Me legendary Anyway, there is one last. Okay. This is just a Israel Folau article I've got to read before I get to the Trump and the UN. You know what I'm talking about? If you're an American, you would have no idea who Israel Folau is. He's like a Australian rugby league player. And he's like, did an Instagram post and it was like, gays, liars, drunkards, fornicators, homosexuals, and maybe a few other things are going to hell unless they repent. He did an Instagram post and then he got the sack from playing rugby. And they were like, you violated the terms of agreement. He got the sack, lost like a $4 million rugby contract. Anyway, Israel Folau, he's back playing for some. Israel Folau is making a shock rugby league return for Tonga. Hallelujah. God bless Tonga. Israel Folau looked set to lace up the boots and return to rugby league field in 2019, but his dreams could well be shut down. Is that right? Exile former Wallaby star Israel Folau looks set to lace up his boots and make a shocking return to rugby league, but his dreams may be short-lived. The star player's return to rugby league was set to be with the Tongan national team in the Oceania Cup this year. Folau is unable to play for Tonga in the World Nines in Bankwest Stadium because the event is run by the NRL, who have blocked a return to the code for him. Geez, the NRL are like full authoritarian, political correct control freaks. The Oceania Cup is run by Rugby League International Federation, who had reportedly accepted Israel Folau's availability. I don't want to bring any of my personal matters into this. I am grateful that the RLIF have endorsed my availability, Folau said in a TNRL media release. What I will do now is focus on playing great rugby league and do my talking on the field. So he'd be like, repent, sinner, and then just crash tackle him. Repent, all you sinners, bro. Unfortunately, those claims from Folau have been refuted by RLIF board members and RLC chairman Peter Beattie. Are you joking me? Jeez, mate. Peter Beattie says Israel Folau's playing for Tonga has not been discussed. Peter Beattie was the former Queensland Premier left wing. Some people say he did all right. I think he sold a lot of our assets, but Tonga will play Great Britain and Hamilton, New Zealand on October 26 before they can take on Australia in Auckland on November 2. Tonga's national team head coach Frank Endicott, who was overjoyed that he'll have not only Israel but his brother John in the squad. Heck yeah. This is great news, said Endicott. These guys are great footballers and bring size, pace, and skill to the team. They will make a huge impact on the team and provide exciting attack options all over the park. This will be a great boost for the internationals, and I can't wait to see the crowd support that this will generate from our famous mate, my Tonga supporters. And it is good to see the RLIF approving these players for internationals. This is great for the game. Is this like I'm getting fucking, seems like they're saying one thing and then another. Anyway, so it looks like he's playing for Tonga in some kind of division, but you know, here we go. The ex-Wallaby claimed claims he's in the fight for his life to be reinstated by Rugby Australia, which pulled his $4 million contract in May after the committed Christian posted a Bible passage on social media and was criticized for being homophobic. Well, you can't change the Bible, mate. It says it's a sin to be gay in the New Testament. You can't change that. What do they want to do? Burn the fucking Bible? We can't accept this. Seems like they're fucking intolerant of other cultures, you know what I mean? Christian culture. What happened to the multiculturalism? They can't. This is the thing. They can't. The PC left-wing authoritarian losers. They're not actually consistent with what they preach, you know what I mean? They're like, we believe in multicultural. Hey, Sully bro, the Bible says it's a sin to be a homosexual, bro, and you'll go to hell. That's what the Bible says, hey. And then everyone on the left melts down. They're like, oh my goodness, can't handle it. Can't handle the multiculturalism that they preach to us all. We've got to be tolerant and accepting of other cultures. And some Christian brother from Tonga can't preach his tradition, can't preach his own culture, you know what I mean? Sounds like left-wing racism to me, left-wing discrimination. But what do you bloody expect from these losers? Anyway, where was I? You got to get on to the old. This is what I'm telling you. I'm giving you the tip of the hat. Donald Trump UN speech. If you're not doing anything after this live, I think the Donald Trump UN speech is like 35 minutes. I watched it today on Smoko and lunch. So that's a tip. If you want to like feel good and be like, if you're like, geez, I feel like shit, I need a little pick me up, go listen to the God Emperor's UN speech. It's fucking excellent. So this is an article. I think Trump's UN speech was like yesterday or something. And apparently he's made another announcement today. I think he's made like 3 announcements at the UN. This is one of his announcements. Trump announces religious freedom initiative during the UN speech. And this is why Dustbo's put down the mullet hat, the Make Australia mullet hat down, and I put on the MAGA hat just to honour the God Emperor, just to honour America. What's Jesse Lee Peterson say? So he says like America is the greatest nation this side of heaven or something. I'll jump back in the comment section just before I start reading this. Outrage, Aussie climate change is a hoax. There's a lot of child abuse going on in the climate change hoax. Follow the money and learn the truth. Yeah. I mean, one thing I do believe in. Here's a tip for you. If you can get an interest-free solar hot water and solar panels for your roof, as a, if you got that, even if you had the money, if you had money in the bank, if you're like, I've got $6,000, might cost you $6,000 to get them 2 things done in the bank. And what you got in your offset account, it's offsetting your interest on your mortgage. And you're like, it's saving me 3.7%. You're gonna get a higher return than that by buying solar. So that's like a good investment. Just saying. I don't think with electric cars aren't there. That's a bad investment. But getting solar, especially in Australia, is a fucking good idea. And I don't know about climate change. What I do know is this: the government's taxing us at like 50 cents in the dollar, right? 50 cents in the dollar. Do you think giving the government more of our money is going to solve climate change? No. If they're already taxing you at 50 cents in the dollar, and the government and people in the government are whinging about climate change, it's like, hang on, mate. How much you already take 50 cents in the dollar after all the fucking GST and fuel tax and land tax and income tax and all the shit. Once it's all come out, it's like over 50% of every dollar you earn in a Western country goes back to the government, right? So giving the government more money is not going to solve the fucking problem. They're doing a poor job at managing our money. So the solution, if there was, if the climate change alarmist is true and they're like, oh my goodness, we've only got 12 years to live. It's like, well, giving the government more of our money is not going to fucking save us. They're doing a shit job. If they're taking 50 cents in every dollar from productive, hardworking people, and we're not getting value for money for that, what makes you think it's going to be effective giving them more money to solve that problem? It's not going to fucking work. The free market, right, and companies and innovation and through capitalism and the free market and competition, we could see in the future every household and business potentially could use renewable energy and provide their own energy needs. And you could be like self-sustainable. I like that. That's the picture. That's a picture I like to paint. If I could be self-sustainable, it ain't a bad thing. If we didn't need to buy any oil, foreign oil, that'd be excellent. If I could run my house off the fucking wind and sun, that'd be excellent. It's not a bad thing. And I think the left are selling this the wrong way by getting children to have fucking wag school and throw tantrums in the UN. They are fucking doing a terrible job. They could do a way better job at this by like being like, hey, look at the success of Western nations. How come life's so good there? Oh, through the free market and capitalism, there's been constant innovation. There's been people coming up with new ideas, solving problems, and creating huge amounts of wealth through innovation and competition and the free market. And be like, could we use that same system to cut pollution or have cheap, affordable energy? Well, and we could be, I like that idea. For me, it's all about that idea of being self-sufficient. Damn, that's a real good thing to sell. Self-sufficiency. Imagine that. Yeah, mate. How much is your power bill? $0. I got an interest-free loan for this fucking solar power and fucking battery system. But we're not there yet. And the sky's not gonna fall in 12 years like the left-wing nutcases, the climate change fucking alarmists. I think the best thing we could do straight up is go fucking sort them 10 rivers out. That's something we could easily do tomorrow. And then this is what I always say, just like, how they were like, hey, NASA, where's all the money that you spent? They keep wasting the money. They spent like $1 trillion, NASA, launching fucking space shuttles into space. And they were like, you're doing a shit job. We're going to defund you, issue grants to private companies who are going to compete against each other. And they have to prove that they're making innovation to get new grants. And apparently, since they've done this new way of funding fucking space exploration, the cost to launch 100 kilos into space is reduced by 95%. Essentially, they've used the free market and competition to get new innovation. Now, if they really want to fucking do something about climate change, they would do something similar to what NASA's done. And I'm not the fucking smartest person on planet Earth, but get the money away from the fucking wasteful government and into the private sector and get them competing for funding against one another and only fund companies that innovate and get fucking better value for money. And if we did that, maybe in 20 years, we'll be like, holy shit. Every household and business can be self-reliant. You know what I mean? Anyway, jump back in the fucking comment section. Lisa, China made off with billions of dollars helping us with energy alternatives. Yeah, and China has made heaps of money off this. When the shit, Andrew Jackson, when the shit hits the fan, anyone with a few portable solar panels will be ahead of the pack. Yeah. Yeah, fuel will run out pretty quick, mate. We've already seen that with these Saudi Arabian fucking Iran, apparently Iran bombing the Saudi Arabian oil field. And they were like, Australia's like, oh, and we actually only have 3 weeks of oil supply that we're going to tap into. The fuel prices haven't gone up, so they must have sorted it out. But you know what I mean? Do you really want to be so reliant on Middle Eastern Muslim oil? Not really. I don't really think that's a good idea. I don't mind moving into electric vehicles and getting off fucking Arab Muslim oil. I don't have a problem with that. So what? Greetings. Solar power makes sense in Australia, not in cold countries. Yeah, there could be other options. There's surely heaps of different options. Board order. China made off with trillions manipulating their currency. Yeah, that's right. You should watch Trump's UN speech, and he goes after China hardcore, man. I love it. When you watch it, they like pan the camera off to like, he'll just start paying out on China. And they'll like go off to the Chinese delegates and everyone, and they're just like, oh, fuck. Trump starts paying out on Germany and shit, and the camera pans to the German delegates, and they're all like, oh. I just love it. He fucking feeds it to him, man. You got to watch it. Andrew Jackson, anyone who is convinced that staying at your home will be an option will the same people removing panels from the roof and chucking them into their trucks. I don't know. I couldn't be bothered. I'm not a doomsday theorist. I don't believe in I don't think would be too worried about the doomsday scenario shit, man, but it's fun. It's fun to think about that stuff and entertaining, but yeah, let's face it, if anything drastic like that happened, we're probably all fucked. So anyway. Born Nordic, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll have a look. Mate, am I going to have to put you on timeout? No. Lisa, windmills can't power much. Biofuel from algae would require half the US to get enough to sustain anyone's solar panels. You'd need a lot to power a tiny space. Yeah, I reckon it's nuclear power. I was watching a thing the other day. It was about like, if we had nuclear power, you could have like fucking pollution-free power. Then that would be great, because then we could have desalination plants, and then next to this nuclear plant, and we could have hydrogen plants and move to hydrogen cars that you know what I mean? So that would be the go. You know what I mean? That's fucking time tested and true, mate. Bit of nuclear, bit of fucking desalination plants. We need that in Australia because we don't have enough water. And then hydrogen cars. If you look up hydrogen, I reckon that is the go. I can't believe that we haven't seen any of this. Apparently, it takes a lot of power to create hydrogen. So that's where they need to have an F-load of a fuckload of like solar. We could have like an F-load of solar panels in Australia and then bolt them to like a plant creating hydrogen for hydrogen cars, and then just ship that around the world and be like, here you go, everyone. We've created pollution-free hydrogen for all your vehicles. And we could cash in on that. You know what I mean? But I'm talking shit. This is all hypothetical. And at the end of the day, maybe there's money to be made in this, an opportunity. But we can like talk about all this stuff from a capitalistic, conservative position where we could be like, hang on a minute. There's cash and jobs to be made, and get off fucking Middle East oil, number one. That's what I reckon. Andrew Jackson. ScoMo caught some guff for siding up to Trump today from the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, I think I read some article about this. Who gives a fuck about the Chinese Communist Party? You know what I mean? They're just an authoritarian, unelected scumbag, single party fucking dictatorship, essentially. I don't even know, when you're looking at the UN and it's like you're surrounded by communist fucking Islamic dictatorships. And then you have like even the European Union, which isn't really democratic anymore. They've thrown away the sovereignty of nations for what? I wouldn't take on board anything they say. They're not like elected by the people. They don't have a right to even govern. You know what I mean? Pieces of shit. Anyway, I'm talking shit now. Anyway, last bloody article, and then Thursday. President Donald Trump announced new initiatives as part of a global call for protecting religious freedom at the United Nations General Assembly on Monday, which has his aides have characterized as the centerpiece of his visit to the Conference of World Leaders. Trump announced that the US would dedicate $25 million to protect religious freedom. $25 million is nothing. Religious sites and relics. In addition, the US will be forming a coalition of US businesses for the protection of religious freedom. Sweet. Trump said he is the first US president to host such a meeting. Mate, a first step in the right direction, maybe, right? Trump said he is the first US president. Yeah, but that's very sad in many ways. He said the president also called the issue one of his highest priorities. Amen. I hope we need some religious protection down here in Australia, like I was saying about Israel Folau, bro, preaching the Mormon gospel of Joseph Smith, bro. No, he was preaching the real biblical truth, mate. And I got gay friends who would be like, but Dusty, am I really a sinner? I'd be like, I don't fucking... That's what the Bible says, mate. Can't change the Bible. This is my ancient tradition and culture, mate. That's what the words say. Doesn't sound very nice, but that's fucking life, mate. Anyway, where am I? Today, with one clear voice, the United States of America calls upon the nations of the world to end religious persecution, stop the crimes against people of faith, Trump said, release prisoners of conscience. And that's what Israel Folau and all these Christians who are like, hang on a minute, I don't want to participate in your, maybe it's just a bit too much. It's a bit too gay. You're like, hang on a minute, mate. I have my, what do they call it? Prisoners of conscience. If you're like, hang on a minute, this is against my tradition or my culture, against my conscience, I don't want to participate in your, what I consider sin. Don't want nothing to do with it. Might be a doctor who's like, I don't want to abort that baby. I don't want to prescribe you with fucking medicine that's going to make you transition, make you into the look like you're of the opposite sex, which you can't ever change that. You can't change it, mate. Whatever the situation, whether it's like any human being, any person with a conscience, and they say, nah, not interested in promoting that part, whatever it is, whether it's abortion or gay marriage or bloody promoting lifestyles that you're not interested in. People shouldn't be forced to participate or promote shit that they just don't believe in. You know what I mean? I reckon. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Anyway, repeal laws. Anyway, that's what he said. Trump said, release prisoners of conscience, repeal laws restricting freedom of religion and belief, protect the vulnerable and defenseless and the oppressed. I wonder, like Muslim countries, right? It's like a full authoritarian system where no one can like, this Islam's a bit out of control for me, mate. I might like not participate in that. And then, what do they do? Mate, you're going to fucking jail. We're going to stone you. Whatever they do. You can't leave Islam, mate. I wonder if Muslim countries tomorrow were like, okay, you can leave Islam. We want it to become a voluntary religion where you could leave anytime you like Christianity is, right? And this is, I think, the success of Christianity, because it is voluntary. Sure, there were times in history where maybe I wasn't there in that time in history. Maybe there were times in history where it was like the culture and community would shun you if you were like, no, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe. I'm not voluntarily participating in that. And no one should be. That's not Christianity anyway. It's supposed to be a personal decision. How could you have a religion that's forced upon you? You know what I mean? Does not make sense. And I wonder if they lifted that across Islam. If it was just like, tomorrow, mate, you can leave if you don't want to participate. You don't have to be a part of this Islamic tradition. I wonder, what do you guys reckon? You reckon in like 40 years, the population of Muslims in the earth would halve or more? I think people would be like, yeah, I actually don't identify as a Muslim then. If I'm not going to be persecuted or stoned or sent in prison for saying I'm not a Muslim, I bet you these Muslim nations, the population of Muslims would fucking reduce drastically. I guarantee it. So whenever we like look at the stats, you're like, Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. It's like, well, none of these people can voluntarily leave this religion. They're all in a cult. They're all in a authoritarian system, aren't they? So that's like no way a true numbers. And I wonder what it, like when you say, oh, there's 2.2 billion Christians on the face of the earth, is that more of a real number? Because you're like, yeah, these Christians can just say, fuck you, I'm leaving. I don't identify as that anymore. Pretty sure we all can. We can all just be like, fuck you, don't want to participate anymore, I don't identify as that. And they still say there's 2 billion, over 2 billion of us. That's great. That is fucking huge. That is enormous. Anyway, Additionally, it asked governments of the world to honor the eternal right of every person to follow their conscience, live by their faith, and give glory to God. Trump is a true living legend. What an inspiration. That's why he's got the Dust Bows wearing the hat, the MAGA hat tonight. Several senior members of the Trump administration were also at the event. Vice President Mike Pence, U.S. Ambassador of the United Nations Kelly Craft, and Senator of State Mike Pompeo were seated next to Trump at the event. The Religious Freedom event included several statements from individuals affected by religious persecution around the world, including Pastor Andrew Brunson, who was imprisoned in Turkey. They should have got that guy. There was like some Christian preacher who had a church around the corner from my house, and they deported him back to New Zealand. That guy should have been at the UN. Should have been like, yeah, I was persecuted by the authoritarian Australian government. The Queensland government. He was, yeah, so that dude, Andrew Brunson, was imprisoned in Turkey. Hey, Trump said he didn't think other presidents tried very hard to get Brunson out of prison. Brunson has been detained for 2 years. Whoa. We did a good job with that negotiation, Trump told Brunson. That's why it's probably not how you say his name, who was in the seating area, adding that negotiation wasn't pretty. That's what did Trump say? I'll fucking start dropping bombs. Nah. Anyway, the US ambassador at large for the International Religious Freedom told CNN that though there have been a focus on the current tension between the Chinese government and the Muslim Uyghurs, the issue is more widespread. The reason China has such a focus is that they're kind of exploring the limits of the new systems of how you persecute a religious minority. But we've got persecution in around 80% of the global population. Whoa. Brownback said he also named Iran, Venezuela, Pakistan, India, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt as places where there are difficulties with religious freedom. So, like, a lot of people then are in these nations. A lot of them nations are Muslim who want to leave. Obviously, they want to leave Islam, or the persecuted Christians or other minorities, other religions, and they're being persecuted. 80% of the global population has been persecuted for religious reasons. That is crazy. And that's the first time I've ever heard this. That's insane. Rabbi Jack Molan, the president of Interfaith Alliance, a progressive group created to celebrate religious freedom and to challenge the bigotry, criticized Trump, citing the president's past proposal for a Muslim travel ban to the USA. For who? Who was he trying to ban? Religious extremists? The same religious extremists who are probably going around, the Muslim extremists who are intolerant and persecuting other religious minorities and people, so Muslims. This dude's a stupid idiot. Progressive Interfaith Alliance. Who the heck is this guy? President Trump was elected on the promise of a complete and utter shutdown of Muslim immigration to the US. Since then, his administration has worked tirelessly to redefine religious freedom as a license to discriminate. Molan said in a statement, if the president is serious about promoting true religious freedom worldwide, he should start with his own policies. Now, Trump was worried at the time because ISIS was going fucking ballistic around the world, threatening terrorist attacks everywhere they possibly could. So this guy's completely out of fucking his mind and speaking out of context. Do you know what I mean? And Trump announced a temporary ban, just like fucking Obama did the exact same ban. So what, you know what I mean? What a stupid idiot. Typical CNN article where they have to leave on a negative note and be dickheads. Do you know what I mean? And be like, oh, not good enough. I don't like Donald Trump. I'm a loser. Any other fucking articles? Anyway, back in the comment section. Nuclear power is what Putin says is the best option. Yeah, I reckon he's right. Putin's original populist god equals the original populist god. Putin doesn't talk shit to anyone. Hallelujah. Lisa reckons Chinese government had its emperor for life thing for the head of state. No. Andrew Jackson, have you heard of the Boogie Bumper, one of your fellow Aussie patriots? No, I don't know, mate. Anyway, guys, didn't even finish a beer in an hour and 16 minutes. Anyway, we'll catch us all on Thursday then, eh? And we'll neck another nice cold beer together. Have a bloody good night. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Happy Cheap Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.